Hello and welcome to Module 1 on awareness. So, James, awareness is the first place to start. I guess, like Einstein says, before you can solve a problem, you've got to define it, understand it, and you've got to understand yourself. And to understand yourself, James, you need some level of awareness. So, there's that conscious part of your brain where you realize those behaviors and the things that are going on for you. Then there's that unconscious part where you may be on autopilot, things are happening, situations are evolving, and you've got a lack of awareness, a blind spot. Have you found that, James?
Yeah, it feels like conditioning, doesn't it? I think we're told growing up, we've got to be a certain way. You have to be compliant. You've got to fit in with society. And a lot of that comes through schooling. I think we're taught to be a certain way, to become a compliant worker drone. And I think, having that ability to be able to be open to other possibilities, taking a step back just to create a little bit of distance between yourself and that narrative is really what we're trying to achieve in this particular module. So, like I said, media, education are all geared up to keep you compliant. And we're bombarded with it on a daily basis. So if you can create some distance between yourself and that and see it for what it is, it just enables you to kind of take that breath, and the awareness is there to say, well, actually, it doesn't have to be that way. I don't have to be that way. I can have a different outcome. So that's kind of my take on it. Anyway, what do you think?
I totally agree, James. I think people have got to take a bit of a step back. That's what you're saying there. Take a breath, take a step back when you're gaining awareness. You've got to kind of evaluate where you are right now. And if we look at it on a holistic point of view, we're living in the most transformational time in human history. In the last, say, 150 years, we've gone from 1 billion to 8 billion people. We've gone from horse and carriage to flying to the moon on a spacecraft. We've gone from no anesthetic or any antibiotics to people having brain transplants. It's just been radical. And then you add in things like the technological revolution and AI, and things are moving faster than our sort of primitive ability to adapt psychologically, James. So it's natural that people are a little bit like a deer in the headlights when it comes to the psychological bombardment of information in this attention age. So just have an awareness that you haven't normally got a problem. There are systemic things that are happening externally that are out of your control. You're born into a certain situation. You're programmed in a certain way from childhood. And it's just trying to recognize some of those behaviors, James, and some of those characteristics in yourself that allows you to then think, okay, is there a better choice that I can make now? Is there a better step forwards? And that first bit is so crucial to just understand that awareness piece, because if you jump it, you will lose track somewhere else down the line. It's like trying to run before you can walk. So having self-awareness is such a superpower. So first of all, James, I would just like to say that for people out there, you're not broken. Even though it may seem like it, your life in general may seem down in the dumps. Normally there are like 4 parts to your life, whether it be your health, your wealth, your relationships, and then your purpose and meaning. So I've never met a single person, James, who has got each one of those ticked 10 out of 10. The fit person who's healthy in their body might have relationship problems. The person who's wealthy might have a health problem.
Yeah.
The person who's healthy might have a purpose problem. So I would say to people, this is the time to self-reflect, and your life is normally the best indicator. It's normally showing you what you're not aware of, whether you're having the same relationship on repeat, or you're physically unwell because you've got behavioral patterns that you're ingesting certain foods that are not good for you,
Mm.
or you've got no money and you're in this cyclical pattern of
Yeah.
debt, or not finding a certain purpose. If you feel like you're purposeless but money's not a problem for you, so would you
I think
say
there's
that
this,
life is your signal, James, or your
it's,
guide?
yeah, it's, there's a fine line, isn't there? I think between knowing that the system is stacked against you and everything is geared up to keep you compliant and comparing yourself to other people. It's an awareness of that, knowing that, all you can do is affect yourself. You can only
Yeah,
impact yourself. You're not responsible for other people's emotions and, in relationships and things like that, which we're going to move into. But it's really that understanding that you can only affect how you feel. And when you're
definitely.
constantly trying to affect how other people feel and impact them and making that your responsibility, it's really hard to be able to deal with yourself and those thoughts. And as you alluded to, that, we're not geared up to be able to deal with the bombardment of information that we're currently having to deal with. So know that billions and billions of pounds and dollars are spent on that algorithm to keep us in that loop. So again, it's that opening up of the mind to say, I know this thing exists. So what can I do about it? So that fine line I was talking about is like, it's the knowledge of that, but also knowing there's something you can do about it.
Yeah.
And this is really what we're looking to impact during this course, to say that, okay, we know what we're dealing with now. What do we do about it?
And this part, James, really is about that vulnerability and being truthful, isn't it? Having that awareness to say, look, I am where I'm at. And
Mm,
we're telling you that it's okay. Challenge is an inevitable part of life. Nobody I know has escaped pretty
no,
bad challenges. Even the things that look great online, where people seem to be living the life of your dreams, you'll look
it's
behind the
very, very
curtain
rarely the
and
case.
it's never as it seems. There's always something there where they're struggling. Life
Yeah.
is challenge, and having
And
that
human
mindset that it's
beings, we're
okay.
flawed and we're fallible. None of us are perfect by any means.
Yeah.
Really, really not. And we're just trying to do the best that we can,
Uh,
in a fractured world.
And we're here to
And like on
reframe
any
that
given day.
challenge, aren't we, James? We're here
Yeah.
to reframe that challenge as an opportunity for growth. Every challenge, no matter how dark, and we've seen very, dark situations of people that children have died, people have got stage 4 cancer. Even in the darkest moments, there's an opportunity to learn something about yourself, to try and
Mm,
become an improved version of yourself, and having that awareness that maybe I could change, and maybe my life would be better if I listen
yeah.
and I make that difference.
I mean, the one thing that I can say with a lot of certainty is, like, the way you feel today doesn't mean it's going to be the way you feel tomorrow. And invariably, tomorrow is very different to how you feel today.
Yeah.
So it's an acknowledgement that today, okay, this is how I feel, and that's okay. And then tomorrow is going to be different. Tomorrow will be a different day.
That's a powerful thing, and I think in that terms, James, is about setting now for you. You've got to set expectations and not be so hard on yourself, to release that weight on your shoulders. You might be thinking about the past, worrying about everything that you should have, could have, would have done, thinking about the projecting into the future of what's going to happen, every bad possible scenario that could happen, and then just coming back to right now in what you can do in the next 5 minutes.
100%. So the first bit of homework, the thing that we're going to ask you to do, is to create an accountability contract with yourself. This is not for anybody else. This is just purely for you. We've got in the PDF some advice and a guide on how to do that, but it's very, very important at this moment in time that you make that commitment to yourself to say, I'm doing this for me. First and foremost, I want to not feel like this anymore. And this is now a mark in the sand to say, today is going to be different. Tomorrow is going to be different.
Yeah, we'll guide you through it.
I'm not prepared to feel this way anymore. It's that simple.
And don't rush ahead, guys. Take it at your own pace and take your time with that statement of intent of what you want to happen, because this is always going to be a process. You're going to be at different seasons of your life. There's context to your challenges, but this is going to help you in any challenge that you go through, to have that mindset, that growth mindset that gives you that resilience, James, that gives you that sort of bounce back ability, that fitness of mind to recover quicker, to regulate your emotions, to be able to solve problems moving forwards, and to be able to connect to yourself. And then by connecting to yourself, you're not addicted to everything that's coming in on the outside. So first of all, James, we'll get that sent out down below. So the statement of intent, and
also we'll drop in a self-love meditation.
Bit of self-love, bit of self-compassion.
Self-compassion, self-awareness, whatever you want to call it, self-love, but it's about reconnecting with yourself.
Yeah, even if it feels awkward, James is more of the self-compassion guy. Maybe that's not as much as my bag, but when you listen to it and you do it over and over, it's just good for your soul. It's feeding your soul, those words, the way you talk to yourself, James. Yeah. And I think for a lot of people, those negative thoughts that are recurring in people's minds, feed yourself like nutrition, good stuff into your mind. Smile.
Yeah.
Take this process in a joyful, happy way with positive intent.
So I'll finish with saying that you are love and you are loved.
Thanks, James.
And we'll see you in the next module on that note.
Keep smiling, guys. That's the first one. And get that one done. And we'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.